We are sitting here today with ReGina Edmondson. She helps with a nonprofit called Whiskers and Tails, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what that pertains to her and what that means, and give us a little bit of information on a local nonprofit.
Well, it is Whiskers and Tails, and I'm the founder and director.
Okay.
And one of the things that we do is we help animals stay in their own home, because seniors have a really hard time, veterans as well, coming up with the money to cover both vetting for an animal, food for an animal, like care supplies, different things. And so what they do is they will quit taking life-saving medication. They'll stop eating whatever they need to do to cover the animal, because 9 times out of 10, it's the only family they have. So we don't want that.
Right.
We want to go in, we want to see what's going on, what the need is, and then kind of take it from there. And usually it's the essentials of life, more than basic needs, more than a bag of dog or cat food. A lot of times you have seniors that have fallen through their bathroom floor because the floor is rotten. They don't know the tub is leaking.
Oh, no.
And several times you have seniors who are sitting in their front room with every piece of clothing they have because their furnace is quit and they don't have the money to fix it. Those kind of things. And then you go in, you'll say, okay, how's your food situation? You go look in the cabinet and here's a rusty can of pork and beans or something like that, because we have to make choices, And like I said, seniors and veterans, they will choose the animal over themselves every single time.
Yeah.
And if they don't, then I question, should we help them or not? Because if they're over here being selfish and just thinking of themselves and wanting us to give them all these things, but this animal is over here suffering and they don't really care, I don't want to support that.
Right.
So, but we want to make sure the animal lives on and is there, so they have that companion. So we'll try to do food for both the human and the animal. We try to do bedding, blankets, air conditioners in the summer, heaters in the winter, that kind of thing. And then we have a whole bunch of different programs. One of them is if a veteran or a senior is to come to us, and this is low-income companion animal families too, if they come to us and they're like, we need help, we've got an application process and all these things, but we also will help with vetting. Like if there's an emergency or ongoing care or prescription food, we have several diabetic cats, for example. Not as many diabetic dogs, but more diabetic cats.
Interesting.
Don't know why.
Okay.
I think it's just a thing.
Yeah.
People like to overfeed, things they shouldn't have, and obese animals are like obese humans. You're gonna, pay the price.
Yeah.
But we help financially with, if the family is pre-approved or the senior or veteran, whoever it might be. And one of the other programs that we have is survivors of domestic violence. Stop and think about what it takes to get out with your kids. Imagine what it takes to get out with your kids and your animals too.
Yeah.
Because if you leave those animals behind, what's going to happen. And we have went in the middle of the night, we've went early in the morning, middle of the day, whatever it takes. And my son is a gold certified GM mechanic.
Oh, wow.
And you wouldn't believe the guys, and there's women too, women are not, they will beat up a man.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they'll make fun of that, but I'm sorry, it's true. Because some men will not hit a woman. They won't fight back. But we've had a lot of men who will go do something to a car so the woman can't leave if they get wind that the woman is leaving. And my son's not real keen on that. So he will go with, and, we're getting everything packed up. And of course, here's Mr. Grumpy Pants standing in the window, trying his best to get her to stay. And also grinning because he knows once she gets in that car's not going to start.
Wow.
My son gets out, goes over there, lifts the hood, does whatever it is he does. And we've got them loaded. And we let them leave first and we follow. And the guy is just standing there with his chin on his chest like, that was not supposed to happen.
That didn't work.
Yeah, that plan did not work.
Yeah.
But she got out with her children, her important documents, her animals.
Wow.
Whole family together. So now we've got to take this first step. We got to find a place to go. We've got to start collecting things they need so they can move on. And one of the big things about my nonprofit is all the years I've been doing this, I have this little resource directory put together. It's free college. It's adult education. It doesn't cost the person a thing.
Wow.
We try to put pools together where we can get laptops or desktops or whatever the person might need if they need to work at home or they need to start doing school at home. We try to get that all together. We try to get appliances and furniture and tables and, everything to make this step a little bit easier because you don't want that going back.
Right.
Because that fear, so I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it, will often, get someone to say, yeah, I better go back. We don't want that. So we keep trying everything we can to motivate and, push them forward so that they can succeed.
Yeah.
So that's another
Wow, you literally
program.
think of everything.
I try to because you have to, years ago when we first started Whiskers and Tails, it was basically kind of a rescue situation because there was just so many and I couldn't take what was happening with them. And, I would catch people dumping them, and I'm one of those, I'm going to come right up to you and ask you why you're doing something stupid like that because, one, it's illegal.
Yeah.
And two, where are they going to go? Who's going to feed them and water them?
These people think they'll just survive in the wild after being at home.
Yeah, or they think some kind person will take them in. And the unfortunate thing is, out in the country, those people don't want your dogs and cats. They have plenty of their own and plenty of what everybody's dumping on them. So they'll poison them, they'll shoot them, they'll whatever. So, we did that for years. But whenever, went in and helped the situation, trying to get the animals to a safe place, all the time we couldn't because there was nowhere for them to go.
Yeah.
But we decided we're going to ask these people, why are you dumping them in the first place? And most of the time it was a matter they couldn't afford food. So this choice, what are we going to do? We're going to feed our kids. We're going to feed the dog. Are we going to buy, gas to go to work? Or are we going to feed the dog? Well, unfortunately, dogs and cats don't always win.
Right.
When the choices are being made. Yeah. But if you have an option that maybe you didn't know about, because there are other organizations that offer food that a lot of people don't even know, and I'm going to get rid of them. I can't afford to feed them. Well, go check, find a place because there's so many now that are offering food. But we started offering families, dog food and human food. And the change, you could see it. Yeah. And it didn't take long, just a few months.
Really?
Yeah. And the known dumping spots, these, what I call the hot spots, you go back and you watch and you sit there and you watch for hours. You weren't seeing as many. And it was that huge difference. Yeah. Because we were helping with the vet bill. We were helping with food. We were helping with supplies, like flea medication or, some people don't even know the little trick to get rid of fleas to begin with, which, is vacuuming every few days. Oh, yeah. Because you got to catch the eggs, you know. You don't have to have money to buy chemicals or whatever, just a good vacuum cleaner. Yeah. And that motivation to, keep them out, get up and mow. Or,
vacuum.
Vacuum.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, all of these different things for this different group of people saves the lives of animals. And while you're at it, you're really changing the lives of the humans that are supposed to care for them.
Incredible.
And that's, it's like breathing for me because my parents did that from the time I was little and I could remember. My mom would go fry chicken and the drippings and stuff. She'd make gravy, put it in a mason jar. My dad would help her get it, all this stuff in baskets, all this food and vegetables and whatever they'd make. And we'd take it out to the middle of nowhere to families they knew. And I used to think it was gifts, just sharing with your neighbor. And when I became a teenager, I asked my dad, we're going to keep doing it because he was starting to get a little sick. And he goes, you're old enough to know. And he told me. Wow. It was because the families couldn't afford, we had a little bit extra. We weren't rich or anything, but we had a little bit extra. And my parents were, you need to share. That's,
just givers at heart.
I think so. And I think, it kind of just stuck with me. And I'm like, why not? If you have 2 slices of bread, you could share one of them.
Right.
It's not going to hurt you.
Right.
So, and especially if it's a hungry animal or hungry child.
I'll give up anything for a hungry animal or child.
One of my favorite stories to tell about whenever we first started, and this to me really gives the details of impact, is we had a woman who had several children, but she couldn't afford to feed her animals. And her husband, he'd work a little bit and then he wouldn't work. He'd work a little bit and wouldn't work. Never did know why until, it actually came down to that moment. But we were delivering dog food. She had these humongous, like cane corsos, and bigger dogs.
Yeah.
And I mean, they get hungry. They get hungry, period. And so we're taking the food. This little bitty 5-year-old girl, so cute. She comes up and she's yanking on my pants, and she says, "Is there foods and stuff for us?"
Oh.
And I said, "Why, are you hungry?" And she goes, "Yeah, I didn't eat this many days."
Oh my goodness.
And I looked at her mom and I said, "I asked you, do you have food for the household, for the kids?" And you told me yes. And she looked toward the house. Her husband was asleep on the couch. She looked toward the house and she goes, "My husband doesn't want me asking for help for us. It's bad enough I'm asking for the dogs." I said, "I don't really care what your husband wants. It's the fact these children are hungry." And my husband, I had taken the last bag of dog food and my husband had drove me out there. My husband gets in the truck and leaves. And I knew where he was going.
Yeah.
He comes back with all these sacks of groceries.
Aww.
He has potato chips and bologna and bread and cereal and milk and, just all of these things. And he goes right through to the front door and he says to her, "Just show me where to take it." And he's looking at me the whole time because he knows what's coming.
Yeah.
I went in there and I woke the guy up. And I said, "If you can't work or there's a problem with you, we need to fix it." But I said, "Don't you ever tell her she's not allowed to ask for help for these kids."
Wow.
I said, "It's
absolutely.
Bottom line, this child just told me she hasn't eaten for days. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Have you eaten for days?" "Well, I work. I got to have sandwiches." "No, you don't. I better not see you eating one sandwich in there till all these kids." She had 7 kids. All these kids have eaten.
Oh, man.
And then 20 years later, this little 5-year-old girl, now 25, she comes up to me at Christmas time and she said, "I know you're adopting all the families." She said, "I want a family that has a lot of kids and a 5-year-old girl." And she adopted them.
Oh my goodness.
To me, that's impact.
Oh, yes.
It left this memory for her. She got to eat. She saw her animals eating. She saw her siblings eating. And she remembered my, what's she call him? I think she called him Fuzzy something. My husband has a beard mustache, huge beard mustache. And she wanted him to pick her up so she could hug him for her cookies and bologna and milk and everything. So he was hugging her and she was fuzzy like that, So she even asked me, "Where's Fuzzy at?"
That's so sweet.
And I told her, I said, "He's out delivering food with my sons," and she couldn't get over that moment, that memory. Of course her dad had passed, but to me, it's that impact, that moment where you realize something needs to be done and you do something about it. That made a change for them. The woman decided that day she was tired of him telling her what. So apparently she booted him out. She ended up going to get her job. She learned how to drive. She started becoming more independent because she knew it could be done. She had the motivation to do it, I think. Because
incredible.
Absolutely
incredible.
I think it's just a moment of change for people. It's like, something opens up their eyes or their mind or whatever.
Well, they need it sometimes. Sometimes a person has to come into their life to tell them this, and then they're like, "Wow, I actually can do all this." Or like, I mean, you helped not only the dogs that day, but you helped 7 children. You helped a woman gain back her independence, and you kicked the deadbeat to the street. I mean, that's
pretty much
phenomenal. And she remembered you as a little girl, as a 5-year-old.
Yeah, and it was so neat because I didn't recognize her for a minute,
right?
And I'm thinking because I hadn't seen her, But so she just wanted to hug me, and I'm like, okay, where do I know you from? I'm trying to think.
Right, you've helped so many people. Where's this one girl?
We've done thousands.
Wow.
Over because we've been here in Peculiar for 26 years.
Wow.
Going on 27.
Yeah.
So we've done a lot in those years. But when she came to the door, we were getting the care packages together, and she said, "Regina?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Me." And I thought, okay, somewhere in the index file, where's me, But seeing her eyes, I remembered that face when my husband handed her the bag that had the cookies and bologna, because it was almost like Christmas in that second,
Yeah.
And she was ready to go. There was no waiting.
Yeah.
But whenever she came, and it took me a minute, and I remembered her, I was thinking to myself, how cool that she, remember after all these years, and she was so little, 5 years old, but she remembered. And she even brought me sacks of groceries for other families. So,
incredibly sweet.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like I said, that is my favorite story to tell.
Absolutely.
About, things that we've done over the years, especially whenever I call us newborns,
Kind of starting out.
out. Because, Whiskers and Tails has been around for decades as far as in my mind and what I've done. I just didn't make it official until, we became a 501c3 in 2001.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's still an incredibly long time. 2000, what was that, 14 years now?
Well, no.
2001's 24 years.
Yeah.
You can tell where my mind is.
We started, I started the paperwork in 99, got us registered with the state. And then got us registered with the city, and then pretty soon, did the whole full circle, the 501c3 and the grants and the whole 9 yards. And it was, it was a lot, but I was like, we may as well, because I'm just using my money left and right. We may as well do fundraisers, may as well get other people involved, and because it was getting bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, while we're on it, do you have any fundraisers coming up, or do you have a way that people can donate to?
We actually, our website, which is whiskersandtails.org, they can go on there. We have the little PayPal donation button. And everybody's like, oh, PayPal is so old, but you can trust them.
Yes.
I trust them more than I do any other.
Yeah. They track everything.
They do. And now, nonprofits get their little special form, that you don't get from any other app out there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I love it.
Yeah.
And between now and Christmas, we're going to start doing the texting, where you can text us to donate.
Oh.
Yeah, we're waiting to get approved, and I'm hearing it's taking anywhere from 3 to 6 months. So.
Oh, wow, yeah. Well, the good thing is you have time.
Yeah, because I'm like, we want to do it because there's a couple of radio stations that we're talking to about possibly working with to do like a radiothon or something like that.
Oh, so, wow. That would be amazing.
That would be so much fun.
Are they all here within Kansas City or the area?
We didn't do radiothon, but just, when was it? A few months ago. Excuse me, sorry. A few months ago, we were on 94.9.
Oh, okay.
And with Kathy Quinn, she gave us the gift card and everything. That was super fun.
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure out, are we going to be able to do the radiothon and, waiting to hear from the powers that be,
all waiting.
Yeah. I love that radio station, so, and Mike and Mackenzie, they were so nice when I came, they'd give me the tour, so their new studio.
Genuine people.
Yeah. So it was kind of fun.
Oh, that's awesome. We have so many new things coming up.
Yeah. And, and then we're doing these campaigns and they're, going to go from like a small up to the big one where we're getting Connex trailers, like shipping trailers, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the plan is, from what we understand, and it's positive. I mean, it's already, we know we're going to have it. We're supposed to be getting over 250 pallets donated of food, clothing, all that kind of stuff for our Christmas Hope for the Holidays program for 2025.
I love Hope for the Holidays.
Oh my gosh, we did over 1,300.
Did you really?
Families, yeah, and we did close to 2,000.
Oh,
2,000 animals, because a lot of people have anywhere from 5 to 7 animals, and all this. So, we got it done.
Wow.
And wore me out because I'm getting older, and it wore me out. But it was good because everybody on Christmas morning had something. They weren't forgotten.
That's wonderful.
Teens, seniors, everybody.
Now, do you have a way that people can donate their time as well? Do you have a volunteers type of deal?
Well, we're doing skilled volunteers for woodworking because we're working on a 120-year-old house.
Oh, wow.
And we're wanting to do like special woodworking projects. You know, we're going to be doing new shutters, window boxes, stuff like that, because that's our summer stuff. That's our donation house.
Yeah.
You know, I want it looking nice before Christmas. You know, excuse me again. And we're doing, what do you call that? The trim, like inside around the doors and windows inside.
Goodness, yes.
It's the trim I'm talking about.
I do.
It's really neat looking. That
it is really nice.
Yeah, that we have already, but we want to do something a little different.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Crumb molding?
Yeah, something like that.
Similar, yeah,
something like that.
I'm sure our woodworking people know exactly what we're talking about.
and I'm sitting here going, duh. But we want people to be able to do that. And then we're getting some new cabinets and shelving. Not that you would install like a cabinet, but just display type things.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get that all set up and make everything, a little fancier and things like that. Because we're going to do in June, we're going to join in with the citywide and try to sell. We got a ton of brand new stuff that we're going to try to sell at a good price and everything. But between now and then, we're going to be trying to get everything set up and done. And we want to kind of see people's reaction whenever they walk in.
I got you.
And then after the citywide, you have, we won't do anything else the rest of the summer until fall. And then we usually do our ghost stories where you sit around the campfire. And,
oh, wow. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, we like to tell the ones about the animals that there was a woman that had a cat. And she found the cat had passed and buried the cat. And 3 days later, the cat was sitting on her windowsill wanting to come in. And she knew it was her cat because of the markings. Oh. Specific markings.
Yeah.
And the cat was sitting there staring at her, meowing like it always did to be let in. And she was scared to death to let the cat in because she knew the cat was dead.
Yeah. So, oh, man, I would not open that door or window.
Yeah, so we tell those kind of stories. One... Here in Peculiar, years ago, there was a white dog and a little boy hit out on C Highway. They were ran over. And everybody believes that the white dog couldn't find, because he got hit on one side of the road and the little boy got hit on the other. They think he can't find his human, the little boy.
Oh, really?
So he shows up, and this happened close to Halloween. And they believe the white dog shows up looking for his human on the anniversary of the death. So people go around the curve, and here's this big white dog standing there. He's been dead for, since the 50s. That's when the accident happened.
Oh, wow.
So, we tell those stories, and people enjoy that. And then we roast hot dogs and marshmallows, and everybody joins in with their own ghost stories and, things like that. So they enjoy it. And then soon after that is our hope for the holidays. And then we set up tags on our website, and it tells people's story of, what they have going on in their life. And it gives a list of needs and 1 or 2 wishes for themselves or their animal. And we ask people to grab a tag and fill a need, or grant a wish or 2.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So, we hope every year that we're going to adopt everybody. That doesn't always happen, but we try to stash stuff throughout the year. So someone who does not get adopted will still have something on Christmas Day.
Wow. Way to think ahead.
You kind of have to.
And it doesn't hit you all at once in December, when everything else happens.
Oh, we've been there so many times at Christmas Eve. I'm like, oh my God, I need.
Been there shopping with my family, so I can only imagine,
Yeah, I mean, it literally gets crazy. But, we have a Christmas crew. And they're the only ones that we allow to go to our families' homes. And the only reason is because they know them. They've been working with them for so long. And the Christmas crew, we have one guy, he's 6'7", wears an elf outfit.
Oh, my.
We have a little woman, and she hates when I call her that, but that's what she is. She's not even 4 foot tall.
Oh, wow.
She's our Santa Claus.
Oh, my God.
I mean, think about
That's
it,
so cute, yes.
the irony of that. And they go to the people's home to deliver the packages.
Aww.
And there's 7 of them. And half of them are singing one Christmas carol. The other half are singing another. And it takes people a minute to realize what's going on.
Yeah.
That it's kind of a joke type of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just to kind of break the ice because you have all these strangers coming in your home.
And they're giving you stuff.
And they're delivering stuff. And so you kind of want something to break the ice. And we had a woman, she's 94 years old. And she calls me on the phone and asked me if I knew there was a giant in an elf suit. Did I realize that? And I'm like, yeah, I do. I said, he's one of my favorites. And they've been with me, 25 years now.
Oh, wow.
And they get off. Oh, they are. They get off every December. And they come in December 1st, start delivering. They make a schedule, whole 9 yards. Start delivering December 1st. And then Christmas morning, they'll find so many seniors and they'll kind of break up into individual people, I guess you'd say, instead of the clan. And they'll go to these individual apartments and watch movies and have like a Christmas lunch with them or something like that.
That's so sweet.
And deliver the little basket because most of the seniors have their chair by the window where they watch the world have Christmas and they don't. So they'll come in, they'll have that little lunch with them and have the little basket. And then there's a smaller basket for whatever animal they have. And, it just, I don't know, I think it gives them something,
Right.
I don't want to say hope or something like that. I want to say, joy, because it's horrible to be forgotten. Even if you have family living down the street and they don't show up, because she had a daughter that lived down the street and the daughter hadn't seen her in 35 years. So don't know what happened. Don't know what the thing was, but, I couldn't imagine not speaking to my mother. But I guess things do happen. So
Mother, grandmother, I mean, well, at least you guys are there.
And they get a kick out of it. I mean, they'll show us their hobbies or, which I like because it kind of lets us know what they're looking for because we try our best to find those things they're looking for, not just what they need. Because I mean, stop and think about it. Do you really want peanut butter and jelly for Christmas, for a gift? It's nice to have the food in the cabinet, but, some little something that's more personal. Like if you're into, I don't know, crocheting peacocks or whatever the case is, we try to find it. Even if we have to go to thrift stores, if not enough donations come in, we'll do garage sales or thrift stores, whatever we need to do to make sure that it's like a family member gave them something for Christmas.
That's very sweet.
I just feel like that's something you need to do. You can't just, here's your little thing of cocoa. Good luck. I think that's too impersonal.
I'm sure you've touched many people.
Well, they keep telling me a lot of the seniors are like, with my grandson, it's their grandson. That's kind of how they,
Oh, I'm sure a lot of them don't even have family.
Well, they think he is because he tells all my business.
Oh,
like
right around that age.
Yes, he's 10, but whenever he started going with myself and my son, he would tell him like maybe 4 or 5 years old. He'd tell him, well, we're late because Gigi had to go potty.
Oh my goodness.
Gigi burnt the pie crust. Gigi dropped the, whatever.
Yeah.
He's just a blabber. Tells all my business. And they giggle, and it's I think it's kind of like he has gotten used to what we're doing. And I think he enjoys, going in and visiting and stuff. At first, he was a little like shy and standoffish. Now he walks right in. Yeah, Gigi had to potty. We're late because of her.
Just walking in like he owns that place.
Yeah, literally. So, and they
not my fault.
and they get such a kick out of it, and it makes it more personal, and it makes it more Christmassy like. You have a child coming in. There's noise. There's food. There's gifts. And the look on their face is just. I mean, it means more to me than pretty much anything because they've been remembered, and you can tell, just just how the change. It's like I'm taking off this mask and I'm putting on this one, because this one is sad and this one I'm just overwhelmed. I don't even know what to say, which is good. I like that.
Absolutely, that's so sweet.
So I love it.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, let's see. Now, I have a question. Do you only service Peculiar or are you surrounding areas?
We do surrounding areas. We go clean to Kansas.
Oh, wow.
We go down to Nevada, Clinton, Lee Summit, Grandview, Belton, just different places because there's so many programs and there's so many different needs, but not every program fills every need. So we try to come in and catch those gaps.
Okay.
You know, or sometimes families are just, they don't make the sign up. And if they fit what our program does, we'll visit their home and we'll check everything out, and we go, uninvited, and we go without a call or anything so we can see how they're treating their animal.
Yeah.
And then I want to see, because if you're treating your animal a certain kind of way, chances are you're treating your kids that kind of way.
Yeah.
And I don't care for that. So I need to know, I have to see for myself, not only because I want to know, are you scamming me?
Right.
Are you triple dipping? Are you in all these programs and still want more? Or are you truly someone who needs help that we can help and then help you move on? I've got to see. I got to know.
No, it's smart, because you could lose so much, like not product, but man hours. You can lose so much. Those people that do that, they go through every single one. They pull from everybody. Yeah,
and not only that, I mean, my donors mean a lot to me, and most of them I know personally. I've become friends with over the decades, and I can't really honestly ask them to support what I do or to donate to what I do if I don't know, the reality of the situation, because I don't want to be on the 5 o'clock news to where, this family had this, and this woman was donating to them and ripping off her donors. You don't want that.
Yeah.
So I like to go and see for myself,
Very smart.
And they don't like sometimes whenever I just show up, but by the end of the visit, they're kind of like, I get it, because people do lie, and you don't want that.
Right. Yeah, that's how you keep yourself running for as long as you have, and hopefully as long as you continue to do so.
Yeah, and I'm hoping we go for a really long time. I think should something happen to me, my son will take it over.
Good.
And he'll pretty much do the same as what I've been doing.
Like what your parents did.
Yeah. Because he actually got to meet my mom, and he was around her. My dad had passed whenever he was real little, but he knew my mom opened the door to everybody.
Yeah.
Dangerous sometimes, but she did. She would, whatever, you come to the door and she'd invite you in and give you something to drink. And are you okay? You need to lay down. She'd have probably been wiping your forehead and didn't even know you. So
sweet lady.
Yeah,
well, it seems like it passed on pretty well.
Well, I kind of think, like I said, you grow up with something.
Yeah.
It just is like
instilled upon you.
Yeah. It's like you're breathing. That's all I can say.
Just like breathing.
Just like breathing. You just do it.
Just genuine people.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we kind of covered what inspired you was your parents growing up and everything like that, and the stories and everything that you've seen. Now, what's something surprising or funny that you can share with us? Maybe something people don't know.
Well, I'd tell you a couple of things. A surprising thing that people don't know, and I've actually heard people tell other nonprofit directors this: just go to your mailbox and get your checks and you'll be fine. Like, people donate thousands of dollars every single day.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
Right.
I mean, you really have to work to get that $5.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, like, let's say Barnes & Noble used to have a program to where nonprofits would come in and we would volunteer to wrap your gifts. In exchange, you might leave us a donation, you might not. You might get all your gifts wrapped and just walk right on past us.
Wow.
And a lot of people, they'll look at you like you're the plague.
Really?
Literally, yeah. They won't donate, they won't anything. But people think, well, you're helping animals and little kids. I bet you get tons and tons and tons of money. No, you don't. People don't want to hear all the sad stories.
That's great.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't know that. And then the funniest thing that I really believe this is funny, is when people want to, well, I don't know that they really want to help you, but they will say, I'm going to do this or that. And they're not going to, but they'll say that they're going to, and then you don't see them. Well, later on, they'll come back and they'll go, I kind of wish I would have done that.
Really?
And you're like, why? What made you come back? So most people won't. You won't ever see them again. And they're kind of like, well, we kind of got to thinking about it, and decided we better come back and help.
Oh, well, that's good. They got that second wind.
So that makes me giggle a
Yeah.
little bit. I like that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. The money's not flowing like people think it does.
No, and I mean, luckily I can write grants,
Mm-hmm.
and luckily we have people in several different states that will donate, so that, you know, that makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
every dollar counts.
Oh, it does. I mean, you know, I'm all the time. I joke. I have a friend here in town, and I joke with her that one of these days I'm going to get a shepherd's hook, grab people, and shake them upside down, see what falls out.
Just like in Robin Hood when they shake all the pennies out of their pockets.
see what I can come up with.
Can you donate to the poor, please?
Yes,
The little
definitely.
puppies.
Yeah. Well, I thought about making like peanut butter cookies for dogs.
Yeah.
And then little fish treats for cats.
Okay.
And wrapping them up, you know, and doing a fundraiser like they do with the Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah.
But I think people would be, you know, I thought that was a Girl Scout cookie.
Oh, they would eat it themselves. You just got to put a picture of a dog on there. Doesn't mean anything, but.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I think those kind of things are funny. The thoughts of what you can do with fundraising.
Yes.
You know, thoughts of how to fundraise.
Mm-hmm.
We were actually going to take, my husband looked like Bob Seger.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, whenever I first met him.
Uh-huh.
And I actually wrote about this in one of the newspapers I used to write for. We had a woman come out that she looked like Park Overall. I don't know. You'll have to look her up.
Okay, I
I
will.
can't even remember what the name of the show was she was on. And we had a guy, he does lawnmower service here in Peculiar,
Uh-huh.
or lawn care.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Samuel L. Jackson.
Really?
Yeah, and we thought about finding people who look like celebrities,
Yeah.
having them do like calendars or stationery for us,
Yes.
and selling it, and have you guess what celebrity it is we think they look like.
Oh,
You know,
I love it.
And I just thought it'd be perfect because there's so many people. Have you seen the guy here in town looks just like Brad Pitt, and his best friend looks like Ben Affleck?
I have not.
Yeah, and they've got the one that looks like Brad Pitt, his younger brother,
Mhm.
looks like Matt Damon.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
my goodness.
and I've seen him. Well, I've seen him in here eating lunch,
Uh-huh.
and I've seen him running around like Casey's getting pizza.
Uh-huh.
They do wear construction clothing and everything.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, the more I see these people, the more I think that would be a good idea.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Because there's so many people here that look like
Mm-hmm.
some celebrity or
yeah.
another. Yeah. There's a woman that works, she was working at the New Dollar Store. It looks like Jennifer Aniston.
No
yeah.
kidding.
Yeah. And even has the haircut like she had
Really?
before.
Yeah. I love her.
So I'm thinking to myself, man, that's
You're like
might
slowly
be-
collecting
yeah.
people.
yeah. I'm like, I saw you.
You're
you.
June, you're December.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, there's a gentleman here in town, and I'm trying to think of the celebrity, and I know you know who I'm talking about. What's his name? He played Harry Potter.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Daniel
Radcliffe?
Yeah, him.
Yes, yes.
He works at the Casey's up in town.
Does he?
Yeah, and I mean, Harry Potter. That's your cover right there.
Right, there you go.
Harry
Just
Potter.
give him like a wand or something.
Yeah,
Can't be hard to guess.
we need the witch. What, the teacher?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we need.
Is it McGonagall?
Yeah, something like that. One that
yeah.
turns into the cat.
Yeah, I believe
We
that's
need
who that
her
was.
for October. I gotta find me one of
That
those.
would be a perfect October.
Oh, wouldn't it be?
Yes.
I mean, that'd be a really good fundraiser.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say that's a
Yeah.
wonderful fundraiser idea.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes, that would be cool. You got to keep that in mind. You got to start marking these people and where you find them at.
Yeah, and I can just imagine, like, I don't want to do that. Party pooper.
Oh, no. With the energy like you have, I'm sure if you went up somebody and be like, I need you on a calendar, they'll be like,
Oh my gosh,
okay.
wouldn't that be fun? I would so love it.
That would be awesome. Okay, so our last question. What is a myth that you would like to debunk? Something that...
I had a really good answer in my head, but I think I'm not going to go with that particular answer. I think a myth that I would debunk about nonprofits is you don't always meet your goal.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think you do, but you don't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can roll through an entire year and end up having to shut down programs because you either didn't get the funding or you didn't have the resources. And a lot of people are, they're like, they'll get it, or they're doing it or whatever. Not always, not always the case.
Mm-hmm.
And, I kind of wish a lot more people knew that, to where maybe they might be willing to step up and say, what can I do to where you wouldn't have to shut down a program, where you wouldn't have to, you know.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure too, people are like, oh, $5. They don't need my $5. You know, I'm sure they're getting plenty of other donations, but I mean, even $1, I'm sure makes a huge difference.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, for an example, like say if someone wanted to donate just $1, there's packets of food. I call them, they're Whiskers.
Oh, the cat.
The Whiskers for cats.
Yeah.
Pouches. There's a lot of senior cats, once they reach a certain age, just like an older person.
They can't eat
eat certain things, or they won't eat certain things because it doesn't taste right because of medicine or whatever. And if you don't want the cat starving, that's the food to get.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure those packets aren't that expensive.
And they're not. And you could take $1 and go buy one.
Really?
Or a can of food.
Yeah.
Or, whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, anything makes a huge difference, I think. And as long as I've been doing it, I look sometimes and I think to myself, people are like, I'm going to get me a cup of coffee and it's $10 or $15. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, what we could do with that 10 or 15.
No kidding.
Yeah. You could do a lot.
It's a decent amount of dog food.
Yes, it is. Dog food, cat food, human food. Just think of how many cans of tuna you can get.
Oh, my goodness.
At least 6.
Yeah. Well, especially if you're looking out for sales. I mean, I know Hy-Vee normally has really great sales on tuna. And then...
Yeah, and all these coupons and all these other apps and programs that you can get now, you can make the dollar stretch. And people don't realize, like a 501c3 like mine, we're tax exempt. And that few extra dollars goes towards another can of food or a loaf of bread or, something like that. So,
just a couple of dollars really go a long way. Now, do you accept food donations from people?
Yeah. Yeah, we have a little mini, even though there's a food pantry in town, we keep our own food pantry. So whenever people come in, if there's some little something that they need, we can, get them like a care package together, which also includes the cat food as well, or dog food.
Okay.
Cat litter, whatever it might be. Laundry soap, cleaners, those kind of things.
Now, do you have an adopt a family type of thing throughout the year, or is that kind of just a Christmas?
Well, it's a Christmas thing, but we have a sponsor program that goes on throughout from January forward to where if you would like to adopt or sponsor a senior veteran, survivor of domestic violence, family, even a misplaced or displaced homemaker, you can come in and say, I want to sponsor Janet, for example. She's got 3 kids and 2 cats. And I want to help, like with maybe I'll buy groceries this week, and next week help with the vet bill, and the next week help with school supplies. Yeah, we have that.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I love it because, we deliver out every single day.
Yeah. Like
I leave at 4 a.m. and get back here usually at noon.
Wow.
And we try to make our rounds, check on our seniors, check on our veterans, all that kind of stuff. And a lot of times, the food we take to an individual, like a senior or veteran, will last 2 weeks to a month. But some of the food we take to a family, an entire family,
probably don't last long.
Yeah, it lasts maybe 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
And so you go through your supplies really fast. So someone coming in wanting to sponsor a family, even if you bought just a bag of potatoes and maybe a dozen eggs,
something that goes so far with that.
Yeah, you can
Rice,
fry,
bread,
bake, whatever, And I mean, a lot of people are like, nobody cares about that. That's not enough. Any little thing you do helps. It doesn't matter what it is.
Well, and that's the thing. People think, my vote doesn't count. My dollar doesn't count. It's so small, it doesn't matter in the end, but it does.
It does, because you take this person's dollar and this person and so on, you've got a week's worth of groceries for a family. Or you've got a month's supply for a senior or a veteran or survivor of domestic violence.
Right.
Because they're, stepping into the world with nothing. Literally nothing.
Well, if 5 people donated $5, you could literally feed a single person or a couple or family, for a week. Yeah. So, and it's just $5 to me and you, but to them, that's literally a week of food. Their pets are fed. It's incredible. Yeah. What a little donation can help. And so many people think it's just their dollar doesn't count.
Yeah. And what they don't know, and this is another myth that I think a lot of people, don't know or think a different way about, is those like pieces of change, as I call it, like, 50 cents, 75 cents, whatever the case is, you start putting that in a jar, it adds up.
Absolutely.
Like the guy in the news where he was taking all the jars to the bank, and it ended up being like, what, $1 million
Oh, I missed that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact amount.
Up.
It does add up, and because so many people donate this amount, a quarter or 50 cents or $1 or whatever, you put that all together. Just remember the Jerry Lewis telethons. You remember that? You don't remember that? Well,
no.
Of course you're not old enough. I'm aging myself. They used to have a telethon where people called in, and it'd be $5, $10, $150, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And he would stay up all night long, entertaining you. And then at the end of the day, the next day, they would announce the amount they collected.
Yeah.
And it'd be in the millions. And people were like, well, my little $5 don't count. Well, apparently it did.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because his telethon helped children that had muscular dystrophy.
Oh.
So, you stop and think, if 100 people donated $5 each, even $1 each. Look at the food. Look at the, take an animal to the vet that's never been and needs to go.
Yeah.
So it does. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and sometimes people just can't afford these things. But it takes a village, and that goes past being just a parent.
Yeah.
The community come together. It takes a village to do anything.
Yeah, see, that's how I feel about it. It's just like, and then, another thing too, for nonprofits, it isn't always about donating money. Like, for example, we need storage tubs with lids.
Okay.
That are in good shape. We need them. Got to have them. That's what we store, like bagged foods, or we store dog food, cat food, because sometimes the bags are damaged.
Okay.
And you don't want to have vermin get started where you store your food.
Right.
So you would want like storage tubs or trash barrels.
Okay.
Even with lids. Something that other things can't get in, or where the smell of the food could get out.
Yeah, something secure.
Yeah, something secure. Like, say, paper grocery sacks.
Okay.
Some places will not allow you to deliver raw meat in plastic because the fluids come down and, because they sometimes seep out of the package. And a paper sack will soak that up.
Really?
Plastic, it'll just sit there.
Oh, yeah.
So
runs
it's
all over the place.
soaking in its own bacteria or whatever. So, paper sacks are huge. And then if nothing leaks out in the paper sack, you can actually use that for trash if you have to clean an animal or whatever. Because not every senior has tons of bags,
Yeah.
And so even recycling the plastic grocery bags, is helpful.
Yeah.
Bread ties. People will look at me and go, what on earth can you do with bread ties?
Bread ties, interesting.
Well, stop and think about it. Let's just say you don't have the money to buy Ziploc bags, but you've had a loaf of bread and you've ate all the bread and you have the bag left and there's no holes in it.
Yeah.
You can store your food in that and put it in the freezer.
Yeah.
And it didn't cost you anything other than your original amount for the bread.
For the bread, yeah.
Yeah. So if your bread tie, after you use a bread tie, it comes apart.
Yeah.
We ask people to save bread ties so that, we can hand out bundles to our seniors and veterans because they can reuse those.
Yeah, absolutely. Something you don't think about.
Yeah, little things like that.
Yeah.
And like, for example, we ask people to save toilet paper rolls and paper towel rolls for birds. Cockatoos love them.
Really?
Yeah, a cockatoo. Now, my husband has a cockatoo.
We have an umbrella cockatoo at my parents' house.
Yeah, and she takes the paper towel roll and uses it as a back scratcher.
Really?
Yeah, or she'll sit there and she does this with it and clicks it against her the perch thing.
Really?
Because she likes the noise.
Huh.
Yeah. So, your original cost to buy it, that's what you're out.
Yeah.
And
you use the product.
Yeah, and when you're done with the product,
Save
you
it from
set
the trash.
that.
Yeah.
And it, it keeps it out of landfills and, you can reuse it. I mean, cardboard, a lot of birds love cardboard. They want to carry something around in their mouth.
Yeah. Wouldn't have thought about that.
Yeah, just a newspaper.
Newspaper?
Yeah, for terminally ill cats or dogs. It's a lot to move them and wash blankets and stuff all the time. And sometimes they get too hot. They don't want a blanket. But you want something underneath them you can change because you don't want them, People will say, well, animals don't get embarrassed or humiliated. Yes, they do. Like senior animals, like little poodles and chihuahuas and stuff, when they mess on themselves or urinate on themselves, that you can see it in their face. I mean, it's hard on them. But, you put down clean newspaper and we're good to go again.
Yeah.
And
do you accept puppy pads too, or
oh yeah,
yeah, okay,
yeah, puppy pads, adult diapers, personal, feminine hygiene products. We do the makeup change. And it's where, like, say you've come from a domestic violence situation where you weren't allowed to have makeup because somebody might look at you or whatever the case is. We collect makeup, like new makeup. We prefer new in case there's a skin condition or whatever.
Absolutely.
We will collect makeup. And then whenever the ladies go out to, try to get a job, they just feel better.
Absolutely.
Clothing. Not so much used underwear, used undergarments, things like that, but just clothing, all different kinds of sizes. We have from 0 clean up to 5X. We have a woman with heart problems who she swells really bad. So she goes from a 3X to a 5X in no time at all. So, those kind of things. And those don't cost anything either, unless you go out and buy them brand new, which you could. I mean, that's an option. But, things that, let's just say spring's coming and people are going to be doing their spring cleaning. And, a lot of people are going to be doing that purging, and you don't know what to do with things. And that's a good opportunity, not just my nonprofit, but there's other nonprofits, that are looking for clothing and shoes.
Oh, absolutely.
All those fun things. And, what's that called? The shoe horse that helps you put your shoe on?
I think it's a shoehorn.
Yeah, shoehorn.
Shoehorn, yeah.
Yeah, different things like that. And none of those cost you any money. You're just getting rid of them. So that's another kind of an option for people.
Now, if people have these and they want to donate, do they just go to your website to reach out, or what's the best way
to? They can go to my website. My email's on there.
Okay.
Because since I'm gone so much, I wouldn't want you to load everything up and then come there and I'm not there.
Right.
Like I said, I'm usually gone most of the day.
Yeah, you're a busy person.
Oh my goodness sake. But they can email me and I'll set up a time in the afternoon or over the weekend to where they can, bring things out.
All right. Well, if you have any of those items, make sure that you email her, and then she will set up a time and meet you. And Save It From Salvation Army and places like that. They make profits, and their prices are astronomical now. Truly donate them to people that it will go to who are really in need. So I think that's wonderful. Not only are you helping pets out there, but you're helping the children and the adults and the older people and the veterans and the women who are in situations and everything like that. That's absolutely incredible. You do it all.
Well, I try to, because you gotta, like I was saying earlier, you have those four corners, I think, where you have the animals, you have the children, you have the families, you have the individuals, and somewhere in the middle, we got to figure out how to save the lives of these animals and keep the families on track to where everybody as a package can stay together. That's the goal all the way around.
Yeah.
And that's what you do. You help your neighbors.
Yes.
That's the whole...
You help your village.
Yep. You got to.
Yep.
I just think it's an unwritten law.
I agree. I have a neighbor that we do everything. We're always taking up each other's trash. I bake him a bread here and there. He'll come shovel our driveway, and he's elderly, and it's just that one person just puts a smile on my face at least once a week, just from, and we hardly have conversations, but just, helping somebody in the smallest way is just, so then the difference you make to, I'm sure, hundreds of people, probably thousands of people over the past 20 something years.
Yeah. 26 years.
26 years.
Yeah. We're over, I think this past Christmas marked our hitting over 10,000 animals and close to 9,000 humans.
Wow. 10,000 animals and 9,000 humans.
I'll have to go back and check my number because I think we've either missed a few hundred in there or something.
I love it.
Sorry.
Well, no, you're fine. I appreciate you taking the time today to let us know not only your nonprofit, but a little bit about you and kind of what inspired you. And I don't think a lot of people comparably to the population know about you. So hopefully this kind of gives them a little bit of an insight to a nonprofit that does it all.
Yeah.
Ran by a truly genuine person and people. You have a wonderful crew behind you, it sounds like.
Yeah, we do. I love all of them. They give more, I think, than anybody I've ever worked with. In all the years I've done any type of charitable work, I think they give a lot. And I think simply because it means a lot to them. I mean, it's close to home. It's, your thoughts of seniors and the veterans and everything they've given for everybody. You can't not want to do something.
Right.
You just have to do it. So,
right.
yeah.
No, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking the time today. Go to whiskersandtails.org. Is that correct?
Yes.
Whiskersandtails.org. See where you can donate, whether it's $1 or whether it's a shirt that you wore 2 years ago and haven't seen since. Anything helps. Anything and everything helps. And what an incredibly genuine person and something so amazing we have right here in our community that you can help us. So thank you today for watching the video, and hopefully we will see you out helping with Whiskers and Tails here shortly.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Thank you all again, folks.